So you guys have seen the ESPN had a top 100 players going into the next season. I have not gone through the list. I've only seen where a couple of placements. I've seen the Spurs players and where they're ranked, but I've not really seen any other players. I haven't gone through the whole list. So today I'm gonna go through it, give you my 2 cents, my thoughts. And starting at 100, RJ Barrett. Last season he was ranked 53, so a bit of a drop off for him, but I think he's around this range. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Stephon Castle on 99. Here's the thing. I can only compare it really because I don't have my own top 100 list. So to me, Stephon Castle is better than RJ Barrett. I think he's better than Walker Kessler, which to me it's like if you look at it, Stephon Castle had a better season than Walker Kessler. Same thing with Peyton Pritchard. I think Stephon Castle is a better player than Peyton Pritchard. Both came off the bench. Peyton Pritchard for most of the year did. Stephon Castle did start for a couple of games because he had to. But to me, just Stephon Castle is better than both those players. Nikhil Alexander Walker, again, is he better than Stephon Castle? I don't think so. Again, on a good team, you're going to have your stats aren't going to look as good. But if you look at their individual stats, Stephon Castle is better in every single aspect. We keep going on with this. PJ Washington at 95. That's about fair. Devin Vassell at 94. Here's the thing. And this is what I was thinking. As a Spurs fan, and if you're a Spurs fan out there, do you have Devin Vassell ahead of Stephon Castle still? Both pretty inconsistent. Obviously, Stephon Castle's rookie year. Devin Vassell has been inconsistent ever since he really got here, and has not really had that one season where we're like, yes. But as far as Devin Vassell being ahead of Stephon Castle, I could definitely see it. Just barely, though. Jakob Pertl at 93, that's fine. Mitchell Robinson, 92. That's fair. His stats don't look the best, but he is a really impactful backup center, in my opinion. Drew Holiday at 91. Had a bit of an off year, but I see that. Naz Reid at 90. I feel like this is kind of low for Naz Reid. One of the best, if not the best six-man in the NBA right now. And I feel like this is pretty low considering for Naz Reid. But we'll see. Andrew Wiggins at 89. I might put Naz Reid above Andrew Wiggins, I'm not going to lie. Zach Edey at 88. This is where I did see. And I saw a lot of Spurs fans complaining. Stephon Castle won Rookie of the Year. Zach Edey was also a rookie last year. So you're not going to tell me that Stephon Castle had the better season than Zach Edey, but then place him 11, 10 spots ahead of him? That makes no sense to me. Zach Edey should not be this high, or Stephon Castle should be higher, in my opinion. Jonas Valanciunas at 87. That's all right. 86, Bradley Beal. I feel like this is a pretty decent placement. Jaden Ivey at 85. I feel like this is a little high for Jaden Ivey. I feel like he's more in the 90 range, but not terribly off. Tobias Harris at 84, still an impactful player. I'm not mad with that. Jonathan Kuminga at 83. Pretty decent spot. Norman Powell, that's fair. Andrew Nimhard at 81. I feel like that's fair. Don't know why this has popped up. DeMar DeRozan at 80. I feel like he should be a little higher. 80 is way too low, in my opinion. Onyeka Okonwu, he's very impactful, and I definitely get why he would be here. I'm trying to get this out of the way, but I cannot. I don't know. But Onyeka Okonwu, definitely an underrated player, and I'm glad he's getting his recognition here. Tumani Kamara, little high for me. Brandon Ingram at 77, a little low for me. Brandon Miller, 76. I'm just going to go through these quickly. I'll focus more on the Spurs fans, but then I really want to get to the 50 through 11 in the top 10, obviously. Jaden McDaniels at 75. Jabari Smith at 74. Derek Lively at 73. Zach LaVine at 72. That's a little low for me. He averaged 23 points per game last season. I feel like that's a little low. Kobe White at 71. Michael Porter Jr. at 70. Kobe White should be better than Michael Porter Jr., in my opinion. Josh Hart at 69. I feel like Josh Hart is not better than a lot of guys that have been mentioned already. Like Onyeka Okonwu, like someone like Mitchell Robinson, I would say. Like someone like Stephon Castle, personally. And Devin Vassell. Tyler Hero at 68, that's fine. Cameron Johnson at 67, Tyler Hero was better. Denny Advija, that's a pretty good placement. I think he can be better next year. Aaron Nesmith is not better than Denny Advija. Same thing with Luke Dort. LaMelo at 63 seems a little low, and I did see this placement. He's very inconsistent. Obviously, throughout his career, very injury riddled. You can't blame him for that, but when he's on the court, I think he's much better than 63 for sure. Christian Brown at 62, and maybe that's why everyone's like outraged by this, because Christian Brown is in no world better than LaMelo Ball for me. Zion Williamson at 61, yes, when he's on the court, he's very good. He should be a little higher if we're considering just that, but he's not on the court, so I get it. Austin Reeves at 60. See, LaMelo Ball is better than Austin Reeves to me, for sure. Jalen Suggs at 59. I think LaMelo Ball is better than Jalen Suggs too. Trey Murphy the third. You could argue Trey Murphy the third is better, plus on defense. Miles Turner at 57, that's pretty good. Isaiah Hardenstein, I feel like Miles Turner is a little better. Dyson Daniels, this is a good placement for him. One of the best on-ball defenders in the league, if not the best. Paul George at 54, this seems a little high for him, considering the season he had last year. But maybe they're taking to the fact that he probably will have a bounce-back season. You would hope, at least, anyway. Alex Caruso is not better than Paul George. Is he even better than, like, LaMelo Ball? I don't think so. Cooper Flag at 52 already. This is mad, kind of, he hasn't played a game yet, and he's already considered almost a top 50 player in the NBA. This is way too high for Cooper Flag, if you ask me. And Draymond Green at 51. That is very high for Draymond. I think they were very generous giving Draymond 51. That's me personally. So let's go through the top 50 now. At 50, we have Kristaps Porzingis. That's about fair. Rudy Gobert at 49. Fair. Mikal Bridges, 48. Joel Embiid at 47. Now, I get it. If this was when he's on the court, and we're just taking that into account, he is top 10 to me. But consistency, and not even consistency, but just being on the court and availability is definitely a big thing with Joel. So I'm not terribly mad at this spot. I still feel like it's pretty low. Jamal Murray at 46. He had a down year, so I'd say this is about the range he should be. Jarrett Allen at 45. Jalen Johnson at 44. I feel like it's a little high. Larry Marketing at 43. This is about right. I've always thought of him as a top 40 guy. Julius Randle at 42. Makes sense. OG Anunoby, 41. That's fair. Aaron Gordon at 40. This is a little high for me, personally. I feel like he's in a good system and he fits well. But to me, they have him above Jamal Murray, and that's just not even funny to me. Like, that's not even close. Desmond Bane at 39. A little overrated, but I could see it. Darius Garland at 38. This is fair. Amen Thompson at 37. This is fair. Ivica Zubac. This is fair. De'Aaron Fox at 35. I think this is about right, considering the season he had last year was a bit of a down year. He did have the finger injury on his shooting hand, and then he also just did not play with the Spurs that much. So I'm hoping he'll get back to around that top 30, top 25 range. I think he can be, for sure, a top 5 point guard in the league next year. And that's saying something because there's a lot of good point guards in the league. 35 for De'Aaron Fox is good. Domantas Sabonis at 34. His old teammate right ahead of him. That's fair. John Morant 33. That's fair. 32, Franz Wagner, that's about fair. Jaren Jackson Jr. at 31, that's fair. They're saying he's better than John Morant, and I would agree. Scotty Barnes at 30, a little high for me, but it's about right. 29, Trae Young. See, I feel like De'Aaron Fox is better than Trae Young, but considering last year and De'Aaron Fox's off year, I think that's fair if you put him ahead of him just a little bit. Tyrese Maxey at 28, and that's something that I've always compared the three. Tyrese Maxey, Trae Young, and De'Aaron Fox. I feel like they're really close in their ability, and I feel like one of them will be like cemented as a top 5 NBA point guard next year, and we'll see who has the better season out of those three. Karl Anthony Towns at 27, that's fair. Could be a little higher for me, but not mad at it. Derek White at 26, I think Cat's better than Derek White for sure. This is really high for Derek White, if you ask me. He's not a top 30 player in the league. Tyrese Maxey, Trae Young, De'Aaron Fox are all better, in my opinion. Alperen Sengun at 25, that's fair. He's really good. 24, Chet Holmgren, a little high for me, but I see why he's there, especially for defensive impact. James Harden at 23, it's about fair. At this age in his career, he's not the best, but he's still really good. Pascal Siakam at 22. I feel like the playoff run he had and the finals run he had boosts up a little bit. But he is, I wouldn't even say he's around this range. I would say he's more top 40, top 50 NBA player. Bam Adebayo at 21. He had a bit of a down year for me last year, but he's still around this range. Kawhi Leonard at 20, that's perfect placement. Jaylen Brown at 19, perfect. I'd have Kawhi Leonard ahead of him. Jimmy Butler at 18, good. Paolo Banchero at 17, this is good. I'm glad Paolo is getting his flowers. He is a really good player. If he can just improve his game and get, grow older, grow out of those growing pains, he'll be definitely close to top 10. Devin Booker, 16, this is fair. Donovan Mitchell at 15, fair. I feel like Donovan is a little better. Anthony Davis at 14. This is a little low for me. If you're considering injuries, though, then I get why you have him there. Evan Mobley at 13. That's fair. 12, Cade Cunningham. Yes, I feel like he is fringe top 10. Jalen Williams at 11. This is what I don't agree with. Cade Cunningham is a better player than Jalen Williams, if you ask me. That's just my personal take. But they're not too far off. And then lastly, we have the top 10. And I've only really seen that Victor where he was in this placement. I haven't seen the rest of the top 10. For me, I feel like, I mean, they kind of preview it here. I feel like Shea, Nikola Jokic, Giannis, and I guess Luka are going to be the four ahead of Victor. And then you have guys like LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry just behind him, and Anthony Edwards. I don't know who else will be on this list if I'm missing anyone. Jalen Brunson at number 10. This is fair. He definitely elevates his game in the playoffs. But yes, I do think he is maybe not top 10 for me, but he is a fringe top 10 player for sure. So at 10, I'm not mad at that at all. Number 9, Kevin Durant. This is fair. He's still really good. Getting on the, older side, but he's still very good. I think his game will grace well as long as he stays away from injuries. 8, LeBron James. I feel like going into the season, you can have him at 8, but I do think by the end of the year, he will not be a top 10 player anymore. And who can blame him? He's 40 now. I mean, he's older than most NBA players by a lot. Stephen Curry at 7. This is fair. I feel like what he does on offense and how teams have to adjust playing when he's on the court still grants him a top 10 placement for sure, despite the no defense. Anthony Edwards at 6. And if you're asking me as an unbiased guy, should Anthony Edwards be ahead of Victor Wembanyama? Possibly. They're really neck and neck. And so I'm not mad at Anthony Edwards being at 6 and then Victor at 5 because of Victor Wembanyama's impact on the defensive end. If this is also a projection too, where it's like, how do you think they will be by the end of the year? Yes, Victor, I think, will be a top 5 player if he stays healthy by the end of the year. I think Spurs will make the playoffs, and I think he will have a top 5 NBA season next year. So just ahead of him at 4, Giannis, and this is low for me. Giannis is not 4 at all. That means they have Luka ahead of him, and I just do not agree with that at all. If you're considering both offense and defense, no way is Giannis below Luka Doncic. So Luka's going to be at 3. That's just not right to me. I would almost consider Luka, Wemby, and Ant in the same tier, whereas Shea, Giannis, and Jokic are like the top 3 for sure, in my opinion. Number 2, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was the MVP, but I think we all know who the best player in the NBA is right now, Nikola Jokic. I'm not mad at that. If you're asking me personally, I think it's Giannis. I think Giannis is the best player in the NBA, considering both offensive and defensive impact. Then I would have Nikola Jokic, then Shea, and then you would have guys like Luka, Ant, and Wemby. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. Let me know down below if you agree with their list, if you disagree. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with on my personal takes about this list. I would love to hear from you guys.